Greetings, everyone. Be blessed. Today, we're going to talk about raising our vibrations. The reason why is because for the past couple of months, I've realized for myself that media and a lot of external forces have kind of played a big part in lowering my vibration. So now, for the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to really combat it. And now I'm doing a podcast about it because, I learn, I grow, I share. That's my thing. Anyway. So I'm going to give you guys 8 different ways to raise your vibration. And we're also going to talk about lower vibrational states and things that contribute to that. And then we'll probably talk about some other stuff, but I don't know yet. We're going to go with the flow here. Anyways, let's get into this. But before I get into this, I just would like to say I love you, just in case you haven't heard it. The reason why I'm saying I love you is because it's true. I say this because I love everyone. And guess what? Being in a loving space is a high vibrational state. So in order for me to do this podcast, I want to be in a loving state. So I love you and I love me too. Number 1, be mindful of all your thoughts. Everything you think, say, or feel can become your reality. It's very important to know that what you're thinking about can manifest, and especially if you give it enough energy and attention, it will manifest. So be very careful of what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you're saying, because you can in some ways create your reality, and you don't want to speak things in existence that you don't want. I did a podcast a long time ago, and I talked about wherever you think is what you create. So if you're thinking up, you're thinking towards God, you're creating more positive, beautiful energy in your life. And if you're thinking down, well, thinking towards self, towards ego, you're creating a lot of energy towards that. So just be very mindful of what you're saying, thinking, and feeling. And once you're able to do that, you'll notice that you're in control of your thoughts. Your thoughts are not in control of you. Number 2, find something beautiful and appreciate it. All right, this is a big thing. Sometimes in this life, we get kind of, I don't want to say like fast-minded or like fast-tracked, but we think we're on the go. We don't really have time to just sit, stop, and appreciate something small or even big or just anything in general. So find something beautiful and appreciate it. That could be flowers, that could be the sun, that could be the weather that day, that could be something material, that could be a family member, a gift, just anything. I do this a lot. I don't want to say sometimes. Once upon a time, I used to be really into flowers, especially when I was younger. And my family, my parents, my friends, they would always be like, why are you like just paying attention to these flowers for so long? And I just appreciate the little differences and the beauties between the flowers and just the beauties, the different things about the flowers. And I don't know, it was something about it that just caught my eye, my attention. And I always appreciated seeing flowers. And not recently, but over the summer, I tried to get into gardening a little bit. And so I planted a whole bunch of different beautiful flowers in the backyard and watched them grow. Sadly, because we're entering winter, they've kind of died, but for the time being, they're really pretty. And I would be watering them and taking care of them every single day. It was fun, but it was something just to appreciate, And you can appreciate anything. My examples is flowers because, I don't know, there's just something gorgeous about flowers and the growth process with them and just everything. But find something that you like or find something that catches your eye and appreciate it. Number 3, you got to be mindful of what you're eating and what you're consuming and what you're putting into your body, okay? You are what you eat in some ways, and if you are eating a whole bunch of junk food or things that aren't good for you, you're definitely lowering your vibration because, like, in my mind, and this is just my personal perspective of it, but if you're eating something dead, I mean, how does that benefit you? I mean, I know you got to eat dead things, but like, in a sense, it's like I'm alive, so why am I eating something dead? We're not gonna go into that. It's something weird about like eating something dead for me that I feel like, I don't know, it's like I'm eating something dead, so I'm killing myself. You know what? I don't even want to explain this. Just know that whatever you eat, it does affect your body, it does affect your mind, it does affect everything, your vibration especially though. So if you're not taking care of your body and you're not eating the things that you need to eat, it is going to lower your vibration for sure. Number 4, drink a lot of water. Now I'm annoying with this, 100% annoying with this. I drink water every single day and I've cut out basically every other liquid out of my diet since about 2015. When I first started doing this, it wasn't anything to do with my vibration. It was more so that I had really bad acne, and so I cut out soda and just a whole bunch of other things. Milk, I'm lactose intolerant, or at least I think I am. And so I cut all those things out of my diet. I didn't like juice or anything like that. Hate Capri Suns, all that. I cut it out my diet and I started drinking just water. Then later on, it turned into like a obsession. I was just like, you know what? I just need water. Like that's it. I'm only going to live off of water. But eventually I started inviting other things back into my liquid diet or whatever you want to call it, and I started drinking like smoothies and just all types of other stuff. But water 100% raises your vibration. It's very natural. It comes from the earth, and if it's coming from the earth, it's probably super good for you. I always say Mother Nature will take care of you. Anything that comes from the earth is good for you. I mean, not everything, but let's just say 50-50 or even 80-20, like, I don't know, 80-20, maybe. Who knows? You be the judge of that. Anyway, drink a lot of water. It'll help raise your vibration for sure. It's kind of like a detoxer. You know, you got some wicked stuff in your system, you can cleanse it out with some good old water. Number 5, meditate. This is my favorite way to raise my vibration. I have become a huge fan of meditation since about last year. I used to do it before, but I never really got into it in this way because for some reason I just couldn't sit still. But as I've gotten older, I love sitting still. Being still is like top thing on my list. If I could just be still all day, I would. But meditation for sure will raise your vibration, especially if you are meditating on really amazing topics. And when I say topics, I just mean things. So like if you're meditating on the love frequency, meditating on gratitude, meditating on just something positive, you know, joy, or even just I say love. Love is my favorite thing to meditate on, but the word of God for sure is a great thing to meditate on. You can meditate on anything, even negative things, but don't do that because that lowers your vibration, even if you're meditating. But you know, it's all up to you and what you want to do and what you want to think about. Another way to meditate is to just be still, silence your mind, and let whatever flow just flow. And for me, when I do that, I find out that my subconscious mind has a lot of stuff going on back there. So when I do just be still and let my mind, you know, go, then I'm in my head like, you know what, let's combat that. Like, I don't like that thought, but I respect that thought. I accept that thought. I'm thankful for that thought. Now I'm going to switch that thought because I don't want to ever think about it again. So meditation is a great way to raise your vibration and also kind of cleanse out what's going on in your mind, because sometimes there's some lingering things back there. But we're going to move on. Number 6, be grateful. Gratitude is the best attitude and one of the best ways to raise your vibration. When you are in a gratitude state or a grateful place, you are able to see things in a different perspective, one of the best perspectives. And I love being grateful for the small things, big things, little things, and, you know, just everything. And some days I'm not, but I'm learning to be, especially on the days that I'm not grateful for things. I am constantly trying to not force it, but finding ways to be grateful for something, even if it is the littlest thing possible, like getting a sweet text message or just finding something on the road like a quarter. Like, it doesn't matter. Just being grateful for something is a great way to raise your vibration. All right, number 7. Acts of kindness. Kindness is not the best way, but one of the best ways to raise your vibration. When you are in that flow state of just being kind, loving, generous, and giving, you're being less selfish. And I want to say this just to make it known. Anytime that you are thinking towards ego, that is a low vibrational state. When you're thinking towards self, you're not really raising your vibration, you're lowering it. I'm sorry to say it, but it's the truth. So when you are doing something selfless, you're actually raising your vibration because you are being helpful, you're being kind. And someone wise once told me that serving others is like serving God. So bonus points for you if you're able to be kind to people. Number 8, get your blood pumping. This means exercise. This means dancing. This means doing something physical, fitness. I am just kind of getting into this thing of dancing again. When I was younger, I used to have a little dance group with my 2 best friends, or old best friends, Dejan and Caleb, and we used to like put on little talent shows and stuff and like dance for the church and stuff. And I don't know, like, it just something about it. was super fun and just organic. The whole just letting loose and just letting your energy flow however it wanted to flow. And it was just a lot of fun. Dancing is amazing. You just, once you get into a true dancing state, you don't really care who's around you. You don't care who's watching you. You're feeling it. You're vibing. You're flowing. And you might be gigging. I don't know. Hey, I don't know. But dancing is a great way to raise your vibration for sure, because it is something, I don't want to say it's something great. I mean, I've seen some people dance and they probably think they're great, but let's just move on. Dance in private if you have to, dance in public if you want to, but dancing is a great way to raise your vibration. Those are 8 ways to raise your vibration. Now let's talk about lowering your vibration. Number 1 for me, junk food, for sure. You are what you eat. If you're putting it in your system, you should be putting good things in your system. I'm not the judge of what you eat and what you consume. That's all on you. If you want to go through there and look at your diet and pull things out and say this is good or bad, that's on you. For me, junk food. And I say that because I am a big junk food eater. All right. Guilty. When I was younger, I had an obsession with honey buns, oatmeal pies, and I have a really bad sweet tooth. Like, this is really bad. Like, all right, guilty. I'm guilty of this, but sometimes, I know this is so gross, guys. Don't judge me. But I would put sugar on pasta dishes, and sometimes I still do it if it need a little kick, but put a little sugar on there, which is really bad, I know, but I've kind of grown out of it since I've gotten older. But when I was younger, I did it so often. I would always be putting sugar on my spaghetti, and I know, my mac and cheese, just everything. Anything with noodles in it, it had sugar in it. I know it's bad, but junk foods for sure, honey buns, anything Little Debbie's, like all of it, candy. Oh man. There'd be times where I'd go to the store and just buy bags of junk foods and then go home, get in bed, and just pick and choose what I want to eat for that night or that day. And yikes, I know. I've grown out of that, but I found that it definitely keeps you in a very low vibrational state, especially if you're feeling bloated and just icky and just, we're not going to get into it though. Hard alcohol. Okay, so many of you know I used to drink. I had a little season of drinking back in 2019. In 2018, I was definitely drinking alcohol a lot, and I didn't really care for it. I still don't care for it. Not my thing. I've given up on it completely. I have not drank it most of this year. I just realized it wasn't for me, and I was kind of doing it to fit in. I know that's a whole nother story. When I put out my college story time, you'll understand all of that. But it was based on external forces and just people around me that were trying to get me to drink all the time, especially when you're in the college environment, the party scene. That's a big thing with them. And so I got really joined to it because of that. But then a part of me was just like, yeah, this isn't it, and you're done. And since that moment, I haven't even thought of drinking because it's bad, hard alcohol is bad. I mean, from a spiritual standpoint, there's a whole bunch that goes into it, but even from the natural standpoint, like, it's poisonous. So it's like, what's the point of even putting poison in your body? You're literally killing yourself. But I'm not saying that to offend anyone, because I know there's people out there that still enjoys an occasional drink or whatever. That's none of my business. That's your business. But just mentioning it does lower your vibration. All right, number 3 for me on the lower vibrational state list is toxic relationships. And my entire college experience was full of them. Friendships, actual relationships, like, it was bad. Toxic relationships will keep you in a really bad state of suspense. Like, you're going to be thinking about this person or what they're doing or what they've done all the time. And when you're thinking negatively, which is a way to lower your vibration, it lowers your vibration. Simple as that. So definitely, if you have any toxic relationships in your life, if you can't come to good terms with that person or squash it or get past whatever it is, it's time to cut them out. Or distance, space, whatever the case may be. Just be very mindful of who is a toxic person in your life, because it comes in many different forms. It really does. Number 5, I think this is number 5 for me, is excess red meat. So yeah, meat, almost puked. Meat, oh god, I I get on my parents' nerves with this because I'm not a meat fan. I haven't been a meat fan for the past year. I have it's not strict. Don't get me wrong. I have eaten meat a little bit here and there, but for the past year, I've tried to cut out all red meat out of my diet. It's not strict, but I have a vegetarian-based diet. Very organic, seafood all the time. Just anything that isn't meat pretty much is in my diet. I am not a big fan of meat. There's a part of me that is, I don't know, just not for it. And I don't like the feeling I get from it. I don't eat not junk food. I don't eat fast food at all. Not a big fan of fast food. However, you know what? Let me take that back. It's not at all. If I'm hungry, I mean, it's the only thing around, I might have to eat some fast food. All right. I ain't even going to front. I might have to stop and get me something. But trust me, once I get it that one time, it'll be months before I touch it again because I feel so bad after. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. Fast food just don't do it for me anymore. I mean, once upon a time, absolutely. But you have to understand, for me, when I was in college, I couldn't cook. So I was eating fast food probably a good 5 out of 7 days a week. So fast food was a big part of my diet. And then I was like, you know, this is really bad for me. Let me cut this out. So stop with that. Once I moved out of the college environment, I definitely started being more healthy, eating more healthy. And this was one of those things. Red meat, I realized how bad it would make me feel after I ate it. And I'm also a big fan of animals. Okay, I'm kind of weird, y'all, but like, and to me, animals got spirits, and it feels bad hurting a spirit. Like, I don't know, cows, and you know, like they're cool. It just feels bad. Like they got their lives and whatnot. I don't want to be out here killing them and eating them. Like that ain't my business. I'd rather eat a fish or something. No offense to the fish though, because I love my fish. Fish are friends, not food. Anyway, meditation versus medication. Okay, medication will lower your vibration in a heartbeat. It's basically sugar. No, I'm not gonna go there. But medication is so bad because honestly, most people don't realize what's in medication, nor do they care to read the bottle. But when you're reading like all the ingredients and how these medications are made, these pills are made, if you really like pay attention to it, the stuff that you're putting in your body, you wouldn't put that in there. So that's why I like the natural stuff for sure. But pills and all that, not my thing. Once upon a time, of course, those days are gone. If your medication will lower your vibration, for sure. Might make you feel good. Hey, it might make you feel good. But on a spiritual level, not so much. Suppression for sure. All right. I don't know what number we are on for the lower vibrational list, but we're just keep going with this. Yelling and arguing, anger, all of those states, all of those actions, bad for you. Lower vibrational states for sure. And also, I'm gonna put up the list, not the list, but the picture so you guys can see the different vibrational states, because there's a whole chart of them. And at the bottom of that chart is, I believe, shame and fear. So those are very lower vibrational states. And then at the top will be like peace, joy, enlightenment, love, reason. Those are where you want to be thinking at, where you want to be at, vibrating at. But like, I know it's kind of hard to do that sometimes with a lot of situations going on, especially with COVID. But that's where you have to take control of yourself and your being and make sure that even though there is a lot of sadness, depression, a whole bunch of negative vibes around you, you got to be the one to vibrate out of that, because it's not going to help if everybody is in that same vibration. You know what I'm saying? So somebody, even though there's bad around them, somebody has to be that piece of sunshine, I guess. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, holding on to grudges and holding on to the past is, for me, the number one way to lower your vibrational state. I say this because it's one of those subconscious things. You may not even realize that you're holding on to it. It may just be there, and then you find yourself in this depressed or like this anxiety-filled place. Like, it's really weird, but the past is the past. You know, at some point you have to let it go and move on, because you can't change it. But at the same time, I understand why someone or even myself holds on to certain things, especially if there's no closure towards it. But that's where you have to be like, well, I'm going to be the closure for this situation. You know, no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm going to close this situation, move on from it, and, you know, heal myself. But don't hold on to grudges or hold on to the past, because it does lower your vibration, and it does it in a wicked way because it's sneaky, you know? You don't even realize it's happening. And then one day you just wake up and you're like, dang, I'm depressed. And we don't want that. All right. Guilt, shame, resentment, fear. Those are at the low parts of the list. When you're here, you're basically suppressed as a being. All right, we didn't come on this planet to be suppressed. We came up here to fly and ascend. We came up here to expand our minds and soar through the skies. All right. So in order to do that, you have to be thinking in the right direction, which is up, which is positive, which is vibrating, at a high state. Now, if you're doing it at low state, it's virtually impossible to be great. And I'm not saying that to offend anyone. I'm just being honest. And again, I can only speak on what I went through. I spent like a good 10 years in the state of fear, like petrified fear. I had gotten attacked by dogs. I have a podcast about that if you want to listen to it. It's my dog testimony. But I got attacked by dogs and got literally mauled. They ripped me apart, dang near died. And then from that point on, I've just been scared from any other beast out here in the world. I mean, I'm over it now. I've definitely dealt with that stuff, but for a long time, I was very scared. I got scared of the world. I don't know. I went from this blissful state of nothing's ever going to hurt me to everything is out to get me. And that's how it felt, especially because it was my own dogs, But moving on from that, fear will definitely keep you in a low vibrational state. And again, I said it on the other side of the scale, whatever you are thinking about will manifest into your reality. So me thinking in a fear-based place, I was making fear decisions, doing things out of fear. It was just madness. It was just madness. Also, last but not least, any form of self-sabotage, which is basically everything I just mentioned, will lower your vibration. So try not to do that. I know that's not very helpful to say, and I know it's a lot harder than it, may seem, but like at some point you have to take control of your own life, your own being, your own well-being, and really try to handle things and get a hold on your life. Like I hate that that's the case, but once upon a time, I had to put on my big boy drawers and help myself. I thought someone was going to come save me. I thought somebody was going to come help me. And I was waiting on that strength or someone else's strength instead of using the strength within me. And a lot of situations in my life, they could have been handled differently had I just pulled from that infinite source of energy within myself. And finally, one day, it just clicked, and I was like, you know what? I got Christ within me. Let's get it done. And I fixed a lot of things within my own life. And a lot of those things have changed me and allowed me to see things in a completely different perspective, and a very neutral perspective too. I've been trying not to be so judgmental, because in one ways I feel like just judging others is judging yourself. The things in your subconscious mind that you don't want to talk about. Oh, remind me to put out my shadow ego versus love podcast, because that's a good one. Oh man, that's a good one. Anyway, back onto the other side of the scale of raising your vibrations. Just a quick run through. Anything on this will help you raise your vibration, of course. And let's get it. All right. Gratitude, kindness, love, joy, passion, forgiveness, acceptance, sunshine, of course, walks in nature, breathing very deeply, yoga, exercise, meditation, smiling and laughing, hugging, singing, dancing, raw whole foods like nuts, greens, fruits, relaxing, creativity, and positive thoughts. Those will all raise your vibration. So with that being said, vibrate on, humans. I love you, and have a blessed and wonderful day.